Moved from London. We was in council accommodation in London, living with my parents. And we moved up here with my husband's firm, Jay's.
Well, firm-wise was West Ham.
Lived in Collier Row, which is near Romford, and I worked part-time in Marks and Spencer's.
I was born here in 1979, so my mum and dad were part of the London overspill. Well, my grandparents come down with, because my mum and dad was still quite young then. So yeah, I wasn't born until 1979.
Busy, there was plenty of buses and, well, working there, I've always found it busy. I lived at the back of Ali Pally actually. That's where we lived, and no, Alexandra Palace itself more than Muswell Hill.
We lived in Greenwich, right near the Blackwall Tunnel, and it was filthy.
Muswell Hill, with her mother. It was nice enough, but we wanted a place of our own. But I got this place before I got a job.
We were living in a rented house, and it was quite expensive, but in those days, to get on the council waiting list, you had to wait years. And a friend of mine, an old school friend, her husband worked for Jay's, and she told me that if my husband was willing to get a job with Jay's, they would move him up here and we would get a council house.
So they're from roughly around West Ham in London. Both grandparents are from that area. They didn't know each other then, not until they moved down. They moved down in the mid-60s, I think it was.
The firm my husband was working for moved up here. That was Conman Furniture.
Because we got it through the Greater London Council that used to do, move people about, I think what they called it. And they sent me a letter through saying I've got a house, lovely. And I wrote back to them and said, I haven't got a job down here. So they sent me to Jay's.
Oh, I think it was something to do with it was the GLC that got the houses in conjunction with Thetford. It was Thetford Town Council then. So yeah, we were all in the same street.
Well pleased, yeah, because we was a bit squashed with my parents. But yeah, a bit far away. We didn't want to move so far, but yeah, we were pleased to move.
Oh, I thought it was lovely. I thought it was heaven. A brand new house, central heating.
Oh, it was so clean and quiet. Fresh air.
And the openness of the estate. You know, your children could go out and play and you could keep an eye on them, but they had more freedom than they'd had in London.
That was nice, because you sort of knew the people as well, because you'd worked with them, because I used to work at the same firm as well. So it was nice.
There was more freedom and there wasn't so much choice for shopping. You had to sort of walk further to the shops, obviously, but yes, there wasn't really a lot of difference, but it's just more room and slower pace.
My dad's dad was part of Jay's group, so that they all organised. I think the idea was that the estate was built for certain factories in Thetford, because Thetford didn't have enough people to work in them, so they brought them down from London. So my grandparents were part of that, and they worked at Jay's.
You know, it wasn't rushing for the bus, and because there was no buses, and you know, rushing to work, you give yourself that bit more time, and yeah, it was a lot better.
Didn't meet lots of locals at first. I made friends with other people that had moved up here, and I think we tried to sort of join in the community, but I've got one memory of a group of us going to the WI, and the lady who was the president introduced us as the Abbey Farm Girls.
Then we started up the dart team at the railway. First year, we wiped the board.
It did take a while. The local settlers, they didn't accept you to begin with. But after a few years, they were all right. But there were so many Londoners that it didn't really make any difference. You were, you know, you still had plenty of friends and people to talk to and all that sort of thing, and plenty of things going on, so it didn't, the fact that they weren't very friendly to you didn't make much difference.
But yeah, Thetford really had that feel that it hadn't changed an awful lot for donkey's years, but then since then it has.